Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, and the IYT. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So let's get right into the daily SPY. And pretty much a non-event, guys. Went up, gapped up on the good jobs report, and pretty much just based. Closed right above 242.10. That must have been the magic number, 242, and stopped trading. 56 million on the day. Last one gave us about 6 million. If we didn't have that, we'd have right about 50 million. It's pretty much what they're doing, guys. 55 million every day. Chop it around, gap it up, and keep this thing going. We did recapture the 50 MA on the daily, so you got to be aware of that. And here we go, still in a bear or a bullish pattern, but down here slightly bearish now, still below the 20, back above the 50. That was her goal today. And pretend everything's good again, guys. Jobs report's good, everything must be great. Keep raising those rates, grandma. We're gonna get there eventually. So weekly close, since it's Friday, still back above the 20 MA, 50 MA, 200 MA. SPY is in fine shape, guys. This thing's just chopping around, consolidating in a bullish manner. This little bar, this little sideways, a little bit bearish, but overall bullish, setting up for higher prices, 250 to 255 area. That's what we're going to look for if this thing goes up. If it starts to slide, first area we're looking at is, of course, the trend line. This trend line here. We break down, going to low pivot. Ultimately, I still think we're going to the 230 area, possibly lower. So we'll see how this sets up. See how it's slowly drifting, though. It should have stayed up here above the MAs. This time it's slowly fading, pretty much like every other time. But I still think we're coming down here, fill the gap down into 230, 256. You got this little pivot around 231, but ultimately that will be the target. If you go back, pretty much starting in February, all the tech stocks, pretty much everything, guys, it just floated, staying away. This is your target when it does not touch this thing for over, gosh, almost a year. So watch the 200 MA. Let's wait for pattern, see how the SPY develops next week in a full trading week. IWM, 20 million on a day, light volume. Yesterday wasn't bad though, guys. It came right in, got below the 50 MA. Grandma's going life, reverse it. Everyone, oh, it's a reversal signal. It's engulfing. Oh my gosh. Down sideways, still bullish, still above the 50 and the 20. Higher prices will be 145 to 150 to 155 if this can crack through the all-time high, or trend line at 143.55. So still a little bit bearish or bullish, and we'll see how this thing sets up next week, guys. If the volume remains light, we'll probably just chop around and possibly go higher. That's pretty much what these markets have been doing. Going to the weekly chart still above the 20, the 50, and the 200 moving average. It did go up. You know, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. This is ridiculous. We're going to clear that up. So it went up, sideways, still bullish though, guys. I mean, look at this, bullish, up, sideways, bullish. Every time it makes an attempt though to go, it comes right back in. So let's see if this time, 5 weeks sideways above the MAs, let's see if this time it could start rolling again. 145, 150, and then possibly higher if it continues up. Look at the volume on the week. We did miss one day though, but still very, very light. Qs, daily chart. You know, still nothing wrong. I mean, it got a nice bounce today, guys. It came down to the 5-0 retrace and filled it, or it didn't fill the gap, but came down to this low pivot yesterday. Bounced off. Got to get it going, guys. Remember, we talked about consolidating in the lower range on this big red bar. We did close below it coming 4 days ago or so, but we're still below the 50 and the 20, still in a weak stance. Got down sideways. Remember, down sideways. Down sideways with a retrace. That's bearish. Boom, sideways. This is bearish. 20 MA, 50 MA curling in the price. That could possibly send it down. Target for the upside, 144, all-time high, and then 145, 150, 155 if it continues higher. If this sets up and starts to move lower, 20 MA goes into price like we said, then you're looking for these areas. Then ultimately, just like the SPY, just like the IWM, is going to be 127.53 or the 200 moving average. That's where we're going to watch. You still have some big gaps to fill down in here, but when it's all said and done, I think we'll be down in this area and then possibly lower. So higher prices, got to crack this high, 150. Lower prices, you got, you know, you got some areas to crack through. Ultimately 130 and then 127.54. So watch out for that. Weekly close, not too much on the weekly, guys. Markets really didn't do too much. It did pretty much kiss the 20 MA. That's where it got the bounce as well. Got below this big trend line too. Pop it above. Remember, chopping around, slightly bullish. Down sideways would be slightly bearish. Strong stance on the weekly, so still nothing wrong, but volume was lighter. We missed one day, so maybe add another. It was still light though, regardless for the week. Holiday week though, you'd expect light volume going into the weekend. Got a lot of Wall Streeters took off this week, guys. DIA. We look into the weekly chart. Let's go. Well, let's start with the daily. Daily chart back above the 20 MA. So back above the 20 MA, we're trying to get above this big red bar. So let's see if we can do that. If it cannot get above that red bar, guys, it's a little bit weak. It's still bullish, still above the MA, strong stance. But when we go down and we start going sideways, it's a little bit that's talking to us, guys. Let me take this retrace out so you can see it a little bit better. So you got all this stuff in here, chopping around, try to make a run for the roses, came back in, couldn't get above the red bar. Now your pivot's going to be at 215.38. Still thinking. 215 was our first, 220, 225, 230, and then you're looking at 235, 236 area. You have a big trend line sloping up too. We don't have that in here right now, but let's see how this thing can start taking off. Again, you are above the 20, the 50, and the 200. Good stance, slightly bullish. Let's see if this thing can take off. It was up a little bit today, nothing great, 0.43%, but it still had a positive day on the jobs report. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly, still okay. A little bit of a doji, no big deal. Going sideways, nice grind up for the last week and, well, this is the weekly, so the last 2.5 months. Stops up here, above this trend line, above all the moving averages. Still good. Volume light. What else would you expect, guys? Remember, 220, 225, 230 area. We'll go from there. If this thing starts to fall, you're probably looking at 203, then 200, and then possibly lower. One day at a time. I still think we're coming to gap fill around 178.84, and that's when the Trump rally started. So let's see if this can continue up, or does it start to slide in the weeks to come. We will find out. Very, very soon. So let's go to the IYT. IYT, same stuff. Let's go down. We're going to start on the weekly. Weekly, they closed it above the all-time high. Unbelievable. Remember, this was the one always lagging, but hey, we're not going to get this one lagging again. We're going to get this one leading now. It's leading the way like it should have been months ago, but now it's leading because this was the last one to run. Remember, they can't keep the SPY going and the Qs going and everything else going if this one's lagging, so let's keep buying this one because this is the last one. You buy at 160 and this one's at 174. You got a nice little gain there. So let's see next week if we get some follow through and a close above this area. I'd like to see 176 to 180 and then maybe more upside to this thing. We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks up. That could possibly be the end of the run. So watch out for that. Daily chart, same thing. Look at that. Pull it back and pop it and close it above. And hey, look, the transports closed at a new all-time high. It's all great again. Look, hurry, buy. No, they'll probably upgrade the transports, which I don't. That'd be crazy, but you still had a slightly bullish pattern, starting to go up, floating above the MA, still in a strong stance, nothing wrong. Next week, let's see some follow-through. I think this little rally here is going to be some BS, but we'll see what happens next week. Volume was okay. Look, they came in and pushed it. They had to get it above because this is the one. If this thing keeps lagging, people are going to start talking about it. It's got to start leading the way. So just like it did back here, guys, remember, if you're following me from back here in November, it was, oh man, this thing's got to run. I got to run. The president got in, and oh, remember, if Trump gets in, it's going to be a disaster. And boom, it's quite the opposite. So what do these people know other than we got a nice rally, nice little base in here for months, and we're going for the all-time highs, guys. 176, 180, 185 maybe. We got to see some follow through next week to see if this move was real. They might be getting people on board to flush it out. All right, guys, if you like these videos, go to StockBookie.com, sign up for the free membership, go to YouTube, and subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate you watching my videos. It's awesome, guys. I love doing this stuff for you. God bless. See you on the charts.